Okay, so I was thinking it would be fun to do a little bit of a tutorial type of thing. Excuse if there's any noise in the background uh, in the garage, because it's really the only place large enough for me to swing the yo-yo around and get the camera to be able to look at it. But kind of thought it would be interesting or fun to talk a little bit about the breakaway throw. Now it's a little silly, but I mean, if you're really good at your breakaway throws, you can just ignore this. That's fine too. But anyway, the thing that I notice a lot is that people sometimes ask, why is my yo-yo tilting when I throw it? Which is, you know, a good question. If your yo-yo is tilting, you have a problem. You want to fix that problem. So what people usually say the answer is that it's not falling off of your hand straight. So if it tilts as it's falling off of your hand, then it'll come off crooked. But the thing is, that's not really the whole story. In fact, it's not even most of the story. It's an easy thing to say because it's an easy thing to picture. It's like the reason the yo-yo isn't going straight is because you're obviously not letting it go off your hand straight. But it's more complicated than that. And here's the example I'm going to use, okay? So, have the yo-yo. I'm doing a breakaway throw like this, right? If, before I let it off my hand, I tilt it this way, so it's obviously not coming off of my hand straight. I mean, it's not perfectly straight when it hits the trapeze, but it's usable. You know, can try that to make it more clear, have it at the end of the string, and then do that. Or, again, like, it doesn't come out perfectly straight, but it comes out usable. It's like you can still bind that, you can still have fun, you can just still do tricks with that. So, what I'm trying to say is that basically the most important thing isn't where the yo-yo is facing when it's in your hand. The most important thing is what happens after it leaves your hand. And you're thinking, oh, what happens when the yo-yo leaves your hand? The thing is that you swing it. You'll notice when you do the breakaway that it goes from this side, swings around the bottom. And the direction of that swing is the primary factor in how your yo-yo is going to be tilted by the time it hits the trapeze. That is to say, for the sake of argument, I'm going to get it down to the bottom, you want the yo-yo to be swinging like a pendulum, right? And in yo-yoing, we talk a lot about the plane the yo-yo is spinning in, right? So the idea is that it'll be spinning in this plane, right? The thing is, that's also the direction you want the pendulum motion to be going in. If you fail that, if the yo-yo is not swinging in that direction, then you're not going to get a good breakaway. Or a good front throw, for that matter. In the front throw, the initial stuff matters a lot more because it doesn't swing nearly as far. But a secret no one's ever going to tell you, that I'll tell you, is that you can fix that a little bit by incorporating more of a swing into your front throw. That is to say, if you let your yo-yo out just slightly earlier, you end up with a slightly easier to manage throw. So, something you might not know. So instead of throwing it straight down, which are going to be a little bit crooked, throw it slightly forward, you'll have a little more manageable throw. So anyway, that's most of what I wanted to say about the breakaway throw. Another couple things that are kind of interesting, just sort of from a theory sort of thing, is that the idea of when you're throwing is that the yo-yo is rolling off your hand, and so that determines the direction it's spinning. But, you know, sort of the obvious way to throw it is forward in that direction, or the breakaway, which is essentially doing a forward throw in the other direction. But you can also, can't really get this on camera too well, throw it like that. That ends you up with the same sort of direction as a breakaway, but allows you to do other things with Just if you're looking for a more interesting way to do your initial throw, that's the way to do it. Also, another thing to consider is often when you're doing tricks, you might do a breakaway, get it down to neutral, and then do whatever you're doing. It can often be more stylish and more interesting to do it from the breakaway itself. Kind of a really good example for that would be the traditional way you do drop in the bucket is to have it hanging down straight, then form the bucket, then swing it in. If you're bad like me, you miss. But you can also do the drop in the bucket straight from the breakaway, so you throw it and you catch it there. And that, allows you to get into things a little faster, looks a little smoother. That's another thing to consider. Like whenever you're doing the breakaway, sort of think about what your first trick is going to be so that you can go straight into it. Yeah, anyway, I'm bad. That's all. See you again some other time, and I'm not trying to be authoritative or anything. This is just a discussion, so if you have anything that you think it would be good to tell people about the breakaway, things that you wish people had told you when you were starting, comments are good. Yeah. Anyway, see you.